Welcome to this episode of the Million Dollar Mastermind. I'm Larry Weidel, and let's get started. One of the things about making big income, being financially independent, having the life you want, is to become elite in your field, finding a niche where you can develop a special skill, a special uniqueness that has value to other people. And so today we're going to talk about the secret of separating yourself and becoming elite with photographer and award-winning photographer, marketing genius in the photography and other areas. We're going to be talking to a man who knows how to get an idea, find something he loves, and do great things with it by putting together products that inspire and energize other people. So let's go talk to Thorsten Overgaard. That was one of the questions I was going to ask you. Super competitive industry. How did you make yourself unique? How did you separate yourself as an artist and carve out and create your own business? And that's what you're talking about there. You just, everything you did, you tried to put your own twist on it. And what were some of those, or what do you remember are some of the things that you did that worked for you?
Yeah, you could say like, how do you become competitive? And it's kind of like the same in photography that is in life, and it is like that we are born unique. Each person is unique, and some of us even wake up and go to school this life and know that we have a mission or we're special. So that uniqueness, the more you tap into being yourself and being unique and believe in yourself, the more successful you're going to be. You could say like 95% or more of people, they try to be like somebody else, So when you are unique, that's what you should tap into. And when I say it's the same in life as in photography, with me it's met because when I started out in photography, I didn't need to be a photographer to make money. I wanted to take photos to capture the soul of people and do storytelling and have photographed portraits of people that told a story. So I was free not to ask anybody. I would just say, I'm going to use this equipment. And it happened to be Leica lenses because that was the ones that could give the best and most clear photograph and the style I wanted. So I would use the equipment and the lenses the way that I wanted to use it and create the photos that I wanted to see. And the interesting thing was that I did that for a while, and then that led into editors asking, can you photograph this? Can you do this? And they loved my photography. And I didn't really think that there was anything special about it because I just did what was easy for me and what I thought was right. And that's usually what characterizes talent, is that when something is really easy and it feels almost like cheating, that is very much you. And it also means it's very easy, but it also is very unique for other people to look at it, But you don't see how unique it is because that's the way you do it. You think it should be different. So when you're doing the right thing, it's usually easy. It's like a walk in the park. And I had one interesting example of that because I had, as I went on photographing, I thought, okay, this is interesting. So how do I do this? So I said, okay, I'm going to hook up with the world's biggest photo agency. So I hooked up with Getty Images and Associated Press and signed up with those guys. And see what do they want and how do they pay and how can I make money on having my pictures on their networks. And one day I had Adidas, the brand Adidas, they asked Getty Images, hey, can we hire Thorsten Overgaard to photograph the Fashion Week for 3 days because we have all kinds of events we want to photograph. And Getty asked me, and I said, no, I can't. Like for the day rates you offer was like 250 euros a day or something like that. I cannot do it. I don't want to work for that little money. And Katie says, no problem. Like we have thousands of other photographs. We'll just find another one. But then they got back some days later because at Adidas, they wanted me. They didn't want anybody of the other 1,000 photographs. They wanted me. And they said they understand, like, they just wanted to hear how much did they need to pay me to get me to do it? And I gave the price, and it was much higher, but they were like fine with it. And the reason they gave me was like that they had seen an article on my website where I photographed with the Leica M9, which is like a rangefinder camera, and a 50 millimeter lens from 1956, and that was the type of photograph they wanted. So that told me instantly that no, this is exactly that. I don't have to bring 10 different cameras and 10 different lenses. I'm just going to bring one camera and one lens because I understand what it is that they want. They want what I like to do. So I could just walk around there in the fashion week for 3 weeks or 3 days and just photograph my style, and it was very easy. It's like I didn't have to try very hard. Just did whatever I felt was right, and that because that's what they wanted. So that was an interesting learning experience into it. And then as I moved on, I was very you could say I was stubborn because I didn't want to, for example, for newspapers, I didn't want to do news stories for newspapers. I didn't want to do news and celebrity for Getty Image. So I would stumble into people, and one of the people I stumbled into was an editor of the biggest newspaper in Denmark. And he really liked local stories, and he liked visual stories. And what I wanted to do was I wanted to do stories from the local city. I wanted to just take a camera, walk down the street, and if something interesting happened, that somebody had a funny bicycle or some kids were stealing apples in a garden or something, that would be the story. So I made a deal with him that I would deliver a picture story every day with a little subtitle of what was going on in the city. And he loved it because he was tired of stories from political briefings and what happens in India and the US. He was much more interested in what's happening in my city, in my life. What can I go and experience, And then later on, they did like a monthly magazine. So we would do something so unusual as we would do like 20-page articles about a building. So I'd go visit the cathedral in my city or the theater in my city, and I would photograph the whole place and the ins and outs of it. And then we would do a 20-page article with pictures and text about this building. Because he loved the city, he loved the architecture, and I had the same. So you could say in that way, I got to do exactly what I wanted to do, get paid for it, and get published. And nobody else was doing that, and nobody else can really copy it because we're all born unique. You could say that somehow I keep thinking about Steve Jobs because he was very special. He had a very distinct idea how should computers be, how should they look, how should they operate, what should they do. And how should they service the users? And you could say it's just that's how it should be, but still nobody else did it, and nobody else does it, and nobody else does it today. So that was a very unique vision on it. But it's almost like you feel like he was born and he just had this idea. Okay, this is what needs to happen, and then that's what he went about doing. And that was a great business for him also, and it was great for everybody else involved in that business, and everybody, also the customers. So you can say that's basically my recipe for anything. Is like just follow what you feel is right, what you see could be fun to do, and that sounds incredibly simple, and it is very simple. And it should be simple. I don't think anything should be complex. The simpler is, the better it is, most likely.
Yeah, that's very well put. Thanks so much, Thorsten, for sharing that.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of $1 Million Mastermind with me, Larry Weidel. If I've helped you in any way, leave us a 5-star rating and review on Apple Podcasts. For more information like this, listen to our other $1 Million Mastermind episodes and check out my Weidel Academy YouTube channel and visit us on WeidelOnWinning.com. I'm the $1 Million Mastermind, and until next time, go, go, go.